Alright, moving along, we're gonna use some macro solver to break up the pyro. This very smooth result. The first thing I want is a merge here, so I'm gonna apply multiple macro solvers here. I'm gonna create something called a gas disturbance. Actually, turbulence first. Turbulence will turbulence the fog. The explosion. As you can see. It's really hard to tell now, but I can maybe turn on the visualization. You can see it's trying to turbulence it. I can of course go ahead and turn off the visualization of the explosion for now to actually visualize the turbulence. I kind of want more, so I'm going to change that to 2. I want bigger turbulence, so maybe that. And I guess that's all I want. Maybe go a little faster too, lower down the pulse length to make it go faster. Or slower, whatever you want, right? The bigger this number is, the slower the change will be down the way. Alright, so with that being set up, I'm going to check off the visualization of the turbulence and check back my multi-field visualization of this smoke object. Now let's go again. As you can see, when the turbulence is being applied, it's really creating more interesting shapes. That's probably too much, but yeah. So that's what turbulence is. So I'm gonna say, how about not that much? 1.2, maybe just 1, because it's really destroying the original shape I'm having. Maybe I can make the swirl size to something half the way. It's just a little bit bigger, maybe. And scale to 0.5 instead of that much before. I just wanted to do something, but not like completely changing stuff. Just a little bit would be nice. Alright, let's say this is good. I have a bunch of smaller bubbles going up, have a decent amount of smoke. So I'm happy with that. Let's move on to even more breakup. Drag out from the merge. I'm gonna create a gas, this time disturbance. Disturbance will allow me to disturb them. Let's see, the default setting should already break things up even more. Alright, very cool. I kind of want to have someone going a little bit more dramatic than others, not like flat at the top. Now the reason being for that, it could be because of my, emitter here is having the same kind of like, same kind of like lens on these guys. So I'm gonna change it. Go back to select and grab this guy and translate it. Oops. And go to point, translate it. So this guy maybe can go not as far. So that guy and this guy can go just a little further. I'm trying to make variations, basically. So more on one side and less on the other. Back to the explosion simulation, and let's take a look. This side goes up more than the other. Right. As you can see, we can really art direct using that kind of like modeling method, and we can exactly tell it where you want it more, where you want it less, and that's why I set it up that way. Okay, cool. So gas disturbance will disturb them. The amount you disturb them will be this value. I'm gonna maybe make that stronger because I want to break it up more. Maybe change that to 1.2. Okay. That's gonna disturb just a little bit more. Alright, just to feel the scale, I'm also gonna play Blasted so that I can really see the movements in real time. Alright, very cool. So just after that gas disturbance, I'm gonna go create another gas disturbance. Now that's the power of using these microsolvers instead of using the solvers, the Pyro solvers shape functionality. Disturbance is here actually available on Pyro solver. The reason for that is because inside of Pyro solver you do have gas turbulence and I guess disturbance right here. You have these guys. It's just here you can create multiple ones and they will work together, and instead of only having one option or one layer of disturbance. So I need another layer. This layer will be applied actually on the velocity field. The default disturbance will be bounded to the temperature, which is disturbing the temperature. I'm gonna go ahead and underneath here I'm gonna allow it to, instead of disturbing the temperature, disturb the velocity. And because velocity is a vector, I have to check that out. Okay. And also I'm going to use velocity to disturb velocity. Underneath the control settings, check that out and use val. And here, because velocity is a vector, I have to fix that reading. Right click and allow editing of contents. And I'm going to double click inside and double click this guy in the middle because that guy is the guy who is doing vector. Right, go inside and I'm going to tell it when it's reading the control fields, I'm going to ask it to read actually a vector because I'm giving it vector on the outside. I was using velocity. So I'm going to create a length here and put it in the middle so that I'm getting the actual speed from the velocity and use that to control how much disturbance. Basically what this setup will do, let me also drag the control influence all the way up to 1. So basically what this will do is that when the velocity converted speed, the speed converted from velocity, because we used the length actually to drive this, will control the influence of the disturbance. The higher the speed is, when the speed is 0, we're having 0 disturbance. When the speed is higher, we're getting higher. So that's the color range all the way up to 1, but you can change that if you wanted to. But now I will have one extra layer of disturbance applied on the velocity field instead of only have one on the here on the temperature. Now I'm seeing more breakup. Okay. If you wanted to, you can keep adding those disturbances. I can Control Z and Control V, paste another one. This one also goes to there. I'm gonna say, how about you can do a smaller one for me? So the block size can be changed to, instead of 0.3, I'm gonna change that to 0.05. So it's having smaller effect. And I can also make that disturbance amount to 0.5. So smaller variations are also weaker. And this guy can be, yeah, I can change that guy to 1. And this guy, maybe, this guy is on the, yeah, that's 1.2, that's 1, and that's 0.5. Okay, so now I have 3 layers of disturbance. The temperature disturbance has the strongest strength and also disturbing the temperature. The other 2 are disturbing the velocity, but one is doing bigger disturbance and another one is doing a smaller disturbance. You can keep adding if you wanted to, but I'm just gonna settle down with this. I mean, why do you want a lot if I'm not seeing that much different, right? So 2 is good for me. Alright. So another thing we can add is a gas vortex confinement. This will be used to remind the voltage swirling effect inside of it. I'm going to change that to 0.5, so it's really reserving a lot of rotations. Okay, Cool. So let me play blast and see if there are anything that I think worth changing. Saying play blast too much. It's not play blast, it's called flipbook. I just used, I'm a Maya user to start with, so just get used to saying that. Not only me, I think almost everyone says play blast here because we kind of like all from Maya. So yeah. Anyway, I think I like the movement, I like the speed, I like how things are, the smoke are being generated. Maybe just a little bit too much, but I can lower down the density later on. So for now, let's say, okay, this is cool. Let's go ahead and cache it, right? So I'm gonna go for the smoke object, make sure that I'm going to the initial data and check on add rest field. Here also do the same thing on the advanced rest field, check that out. And maybe I can change that to 30. I have 80 frames, so every 30 frame will be a reset of the rest field. And one more thing is underneath the smoke object, I'm going to change the division size instead of 0.2, maybe 0.108. I don't want it to make it too small because it's going to slow down quite a bit. So, alright, 0.08 should be good. Alright, with that being set up, I'm going to go outside and disable the emitter and explosion visibility. I'm going to create a geometry and call this new geometry explosion sim cache. And inside of it, I'm going to create a .io, and here I'm going to say how about, whoops, how about reading my explosion sim and use my explosion sim's smoke object, right? And use the pyro preset, should be good. I don't need to change anything here. I like everything it's creating for me. And the position I'm caching it can be underneath my project folder, and I can name it smoke explosion, actually, simulation cache, whatever you want to call it. Alright, when you're happy with the position you stored it, and make sure that you set up the correct thing. One more thing you can check is just play it and see if you got anything. If you do, then yeah, that's it. So I'm gonna hit on the save to file and save disk and let it cache, and when it's done we can move on to the next tutorial and talk about how do we render this stuff. Okay, see you next time.